Welcome, weary soul. You found your way here tonight because something inside you is searching for rest. Not just physical rest, but the deeper peace that only God's word can bring. As you settle into this quiet space, know that you're about to experience the book of Deuteronomy in a completely new way. Tonight, you'll hear Moses' final words to God's people, words of love, promise, and eternal comfort. These aren't just ancient stories, but living truths meant to quiet your anxious heart and calm your restless mind. As we journey through these sacred passages, you'll discover that God's faithfulness to his people thousands of years ago is the same faithfulness he offers you right now, in this very moment. Let your breathing slow and deepen. Feel your body sinking into rest. Allow your mind to release the burdens of today. God is here with you now, just as he was with his people in the wilderness. Father, as we open your word tonight, let your presence fill this space. Remind this precious soul that they are loved, chosen, and never alone. Amen. Maybe tonight you're feeling forgotten, like you've been wandering in your own wilderness for so long that you wonder if God even remembers your name. The struggles feel endless, the path unclear, and hope seems like a luxury you can't afford. Listen to what Moses told God's people when they felt this exact same way. Deuteronomy 4 verse 31. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon or destroy you or forget the covenant he made on oath to your ancestors. He will not abandon you. Do you hear that promise tonight? Not might not, or probably won't. He will not abandon you. When Moses spoke these words, God's people had been wandering for 40 years. 40 years of uncertainty, of manna for breakfast again, of not knowing what tomorrow would bring. Yet Moses declared with absolute certainty, God will not abandon you. This same God who kept his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This same faithful God sees you right now in your struggle. He hasn't forgotten the promises he made over your life. Your wilderness season doesn't mean you're abandoned. It means you're being prepared for something beautiful ahead. Perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed tonight, like the challenges in your life are too big, too numerous, too impossible to overcome. Your mind races with all the what-ifs and how-will-Is, and peace feels like a foreign concept. Moses understood this feeling when he spoke these words. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. The Lord your God goes with you, not just ahead of you, not just behind you, but with you. Picture that for a moment. Whatever mountain you're facing tomorrow, you won't climb it alone. Whatever valley you're walking through, you have a companion who knows the way. Whatever battle you're fighting, you have a warrior fighting alongside you. Joshua was about to lead 2 million people into an unknown land filled with giants and fortified cities. If anyone had reason to feel overwhelmed, it was him. Yet Moses looked him in the eyes and said, Be strong and courageous, because you're not doing this alone. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who provided manna in the wilderness, who gave water from a rock, that same God goes with you. Your struggles tonight don't define you. Your fears don't disqualify you. Your weaknesses don't eliminate you from God's love and purposes. He goes with you every step of the way. Maybe you're lying here tonight with a heart that feels broken. Relationships have crumbled, dreams have died, and the pain seems too heavy to carry. You wonder if healing is even possible, if joy will ever return, if love can ever feel safe again. Moses spoke to broken hearts when he shared these words. Deuteronomy 30, verse 3. When all these blessings and curses I have set before you come on you, and you take them to heart, wherever the Lord your God disperses you among the nations, And when you return to the Lord your God and obey him with all your heart and with all your soul, according to everything I command you today, then the Lord your God will restore your fortunes and have compassion on you. God will restore your fortunes. Notice it doesn't say maybe or if you're good enough. It says he will restore. Your current chapter of loss, of heartbreak, of disappointment, this isn't the end of your story. This is the difficult middle part that makes the ending so beautiful. When Moses spoke these words, he knew God's people would face exile, separation, and seasons of deep pain. But he also knew something else. God specializes in restoration. He takes what seems permanently broken and makes it more beautiful than it was before. Your heart that feels shattered tonight is not beyond his healing touch. God isn't waiting for you to get your life together before he moves. He isn't waiting for you to stop struggling before he shows up. He meets you right where you are, in the mess, in the questions, in the tears, and he begins the gentle work of restoration. Your broken heart is safe in his hands. Perhaps fear has been your constant companion lately. Fear of the future, fear of loss, fear of not being enough, fear that keeps you awake at these quiet hours. The unknown feels threatening, and security feels like something other people have but not you. Moses addressed this fear with words of incredible comfort. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. The Lord himself goes before you. Before you face tomorrow's challenges, he's already there, preparing the way. Before you enter that difficult conversation, he's already in the room. Before you receive that test result, before you have that meeting, before you make that decision, he's already there. And notice what comes next. He will be with you, not just before you, but with you in the moment. When your hands shake, when your voice trembles, when your confidence wavers, he is right there with you. You don't face anything alone. Fear whispers that you're on your own, that you have to figure everything out, that disaster is around every corner. But God's voice is stronger than fear's whisper. He says, I go before you, I'm with you, and I will never leave you. Fear has to bow to that kind of presence. You don't have to be fearless to be faithful. You don't have to have it all figured out to take the next step. You just have to remember that you're not walking this path alone. Every step forward is a step with him. Maybe tonight you're wrestling with doubt. Doubt about God's goodness. Doubt about his plan for your life. Doubt about whether he really cares about the details of your daily struggles. The silence feels heavy, and his presence feels distant. Moses knew about doubt when he spoke these powerful words. Deuteronomy 7 verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. He is the faithful God, not was faithful, not will be faithful. He is faithful. Right now, in this moment, as you listen to these words, he is being faithful to you. His faithfulness doesn't depend on your feelings or your circumstances or your ability to sense his presence. It depends on his character, and his character never changes. 1,000 generations. Think about that. Every generation has faced their own wilderness seasons, their own giants to face, their own reasons to doubt. Yet for 1,000 generations, God has kept his covenant of love. Your generation isn't the first to struggle, and you're not the first person to question if God is really there. But you're part of that unbroken chain of people who have discovered that his faithfulness endures. Your doubt doesn't offend God. Your questions don't push him away. Your struggles don't make him love you less. He understands that faith is hard when you're hurting, that trust is difficult when you can't see the way forward, but his faithfulness to you remains constant, unchanging, and sure. Your mind won't quiet tonight, will it? The thoughts keep coming in waves. Worry about tomorrow, regret about yesterday, anxiety about decisions you need to make. Your chest feels tight, your breathing shallow, and peace feels impossible to reach. The harder you try to stop thinking, the louder the thoughts become. Moses understood this kind of mental turmoil when he spoke these words to a nation of people whose minds were spinning with uncertainty. Deuteronomy 8 verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Remember how the Lord led you. Not try to figure out or worry about where this is going, but remember how he has led you. Even in your wilderness seasons, especially in your wilderness seasons, he has been guiding your steps. Those 40 years in the desert weren't punishment, they were preparation. God was doing something in their hearts, and he's doing something in yours too. Your racing thoughts tonight aren't evidence that God has abandoned you. They're evidence that you're human, that you care deeply about your life and the people you love. But underneath the noise of your worried mind, there's a deeper truth. The same God who led his people through 40 years of uncertainty is leading you through this season of questions and unknowns. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your lungs expand, then slowly release. Your mind may be racing, but your body can learn to rest. God sees every anxious thought, and he's not frustrated with you for feeling this way. He's gentle with worried hearts. Perhaps tonight you're drowning in a sea of responsibilities and expectations. Everyone needs something from you, and you feel stretched so thin you might snap. The weight of others' needs, combined with your own struggles, feels crushing. You wonder if you're strong enough to keep carrying it all. Moses spoke directly to this exhaustion. Deuteronomy 1 verses 12 and 13. But how can I bear your problems and your burdens and your disputes all by myself? Choose some wise, understanding, and respected men from each of your tribes, and I will set them over you. Even Moses, the great leader who spoke face to face with God, reached a point where he said, I cannot carry this alone. He wasn't admitting failure, he was acknowledging his humanity. There's wisdom in recognizing when you need help, when the load is too heavy for one person to bear. God never intended for you to carry everything by yourself. The pressure you feel to be everything to everyone, to solve every problem, to never show weakness, that pressure isn't from him. He designed you to need others, to share burdens, to ask for help when you're overwhelmed. Your worth isn't determined by how much you can handle. Your value doesn't depend on being the strong one all the time. It's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to admit when you're tired, when you're struggling, when you don't have all the answers. That's not weakness. That's honest humanity. And God honors that kind of authenticity. Maybe tonight you're wrestling with deep disappointment. Things didn't turn out the way you hoped, the way you prayed, the way you believed they would. The gap between your expectations and your reality feels enormous, and you're struggling to make sense of it all. You wonder if you misheard God, if you're being punished, if hope is just a cruel illusion. Moses addressed this kind of devastating disappointment. Deuteronomy 32 verse 4. He is the rock, his works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong, upright and just is he. His ways are just, even when they don't make sense to you. His works are perfect, even when they look broken from your perspective. This doesn't minimize your pain or dismiss your questions. Your disappointment is real, Your grief is valid, and your confusion is understandable. But underneath the chaos of unmet expectations, there's a bedrock truth. God is faithful, even when his faithfulness looks different than what you anticipated. Sometimes God's love protects us from things we wanted but weren't good for us. Sometimes his no or his not yet is actually mercy in disguise. Sometimes the detour leads to something more beautiful than the original destination. Your disappointment tonight doesn't mean God has forgotten about you. It might mean he's protecting you from something you can't see. Your dreams that didn't come true, your prayers that seem unanswered, your hopes that feel crushed, bring them to him. He can handle your anger, your questions, your confusion. He's big enough for your biggest disappointments, and he's tender enough to care about your smallest hurts. Tonight you might be battling with loneliness that goes bone deep. You're surrounded by people, but nobody really knows you. You smile and function and play the part, but inside you feel invisible, misunderstood, disconnected. The ache for genuine connection, for someone to truly see and know you, feels overwhelming in these quiet hours. Moses spoke to this profound loneliness. Deuteronomy 4 verses 7 and 8. What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them, the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him? And what other nation is so great as to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I am setting before you today? The Lord your God is near you whenever you pray. Not sometimes near, not occasionally near, but near whenever you call out to him. In your loneliest moments, when you feel most invisible and forgotten, he is near. When the silence feels deafening and the isolation overwhelming, he is right there with you. You are not as alone as you feel. The God of the universe knows your name, knows your struggles, knows the deepest longings of your heart. He sees you when no one else does. He understands you when you don't even understand yourself. He values you when you feel worthless. Your loneliness isn't evidence that you're unlovable or unwanted. It's evidence that you were created for connection, for love, for relationship, and the deepest connection you'll ever find starts with knowing how near God is to you, right now, in this very moment. Perhaps you're lying here tonight feeling like a failure. You've made mistakes, poor decisions, choices you regret. The weight of guilt and shame feels crushing, and you wonder if you've disqualified yourself from God's love and plans. The voice of condemnation plays on repeat in your mind, listing all the ways you've fallen short. Moses had something powerful to say about failure and redemption. Deuteronomy 30 verse 11 and 12. Now what I am commanding you today is not too difficult for you or beyond your reach. It is not up in heaven, so that you have to ask, who will ascend into heaven to get it and proclaim it to us so we may obey it? What God asks of you is not beyond your reach, not even after your failures, not even after your mistakes, not even after your worst decisions. His commands aren't impossible standards designed to make you feel inadequate. They're invitations to life, to freedom, to restoration. Your past doesn't disqualify you from your future. Your mistakes don't eliminate you from God's plans. Your failures don't put you beyond the reach of his grace. Moses was speaking to people who had failed spectacularly. They had worshipped a golden calf, complained constantly, and disobeyed repeatedly. Yet he declared that God's good plans were still within their reach. The shame you feel tonight is real, but it's not the final word. God specializes in taking broken people with messy pasts and writing beautiful stories of redemption. Your failures have taught you compassion, humility, and dependence on him. These aren't disqualifications, they're qualifications for his grace. You might be wrestling with the feeling that you're not good enough, that you'll never measure up, that God is disappointed in you. These thoughts play like a broken record, wearing down your sense of worth and belonging. You compare yourself to others and always come up short. Moses spoke directly to this struggle with identity and worth. Deuteronomy 7 verses 6 through 8. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you out of all the peoples on the face of the earth to be his people, his treasured possession. The Lord did not set his affection on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other peoples, for you were the fewest of all peoples. But it was because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your ancestors. You are his treasured possession, not because of what you do, but because of who you are to him. Not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. Not because you have it all together, but because he loves you. The Israelites weren't chosen because they were the biggest, strongest, or most impressive nation. They were chosen because God loved them. Your worth doesn't depend on your performance, your achievements, or how you compare to others. It depends on God's unchanging love for you. You are treasured, chosen, beloved, not because of anything you've done to earn it, but simply because he delights in you. The voices that tell you you're not enough are lying. The thoughts that say you don't belong are wrong. The feelings that convince you God is disappointed in you are deceptive. His love for you isn't based on your behavior, it's based on his character, and his character never changes. Right now, as you lie here in the quiet darkness, the future might feel uncertain and frightening. You can't see how things will work out, can't imagine how the broken pieces will come together, can't envision how this pain will ever transform into something beautiful. The path ahead looks unclear, and hope feels fragile. But listen to this magnificent promise that God made, not to someone else, but to you. Deuteronomy 29 verse 29. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may follow all the words of this law. The secret things belong to the Lord. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to see the whole staircase before you take the first step. You don't have to understand his timing or his methods or his reasons. The secret things, the how and when and why, those belong to him. Your job is to trust. His job is to unfold the plan. This means you can rest tonight without having all the answers. You can close your eyes without solving every problem. You can release control without things falling apart. The God who holds the secret things is the same God who holds your life, your future, your dreams. He sees what you cannot see, knows what you do not know, and is working all things together in ways that will someday take your breath away. Maybe you're wondering if God still has good plans for your life. After all the mistakes, the delays, the detours, the disappointments, does he still have dreams for you? Can beauty still grow from the ashes of your broken plans? God's answer comes through Moses with breathtaking clarity. Deuteronomy 8 verse 7. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with brooks, streams, and deep springs gushing out into the valleys and hills. He is bringing you into a good land. Not was thinking about it, not might consider it if you get your act together. He is bringing you. Even now, even tonight, even in your current circumstances, he is orchestrating events, opening doors, preparing hearts, shifting situations to bring you into the good land he has planned for you. A land with brooks, streams, and deep springs. Picture abundance, refreshment, life-giving water in every direction. This isn't just about a physical place. It's about a season of flourishing that's coming to your life. God isn't just planning to get you through your struggles. He's planning to bring you into a place of abundance, joy, and deep satisfaction. The wilderness season you're walking through now isn't your final destination. It's preparation for the good land ahead. Every difficult lesson, every character-building challenge, every moment of dependence on him is preparing you to receive and, Steward the blessings He has planned for you. Perhaps tonight you're drowning in the chaos of circumstances that feel completely out of control. Your life feels like a storm-tossed ship, and you can't find solid ground anywhere. You wonder if God sees the mess you're in, if He cares about the details of your daily struggles. Moses spoke this promise to people who understood chaos. Deuteronomy 4 verse 31. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon or destroy you, or forget the covenant He made on oath to your ancestors. He will not abandon you. In the middle of the storm, when the waves feel overwhelming and the winds are howling, He will not abandon you. When your marriage feels like it's falling apart, when your finances are in shambles, when your health is failing, when your children are breaking your heart, He will not abandon you. He will not forget the covenant He made. Every promise He spoke over your life, every dream He planted in your heart, every calling He whispered to your spirit, He remembers them all. The chaos around you doesn't cancel His promises. The delay doesn't mean denial. The difficulties don't mean He's changed His mind about you. You are held by a merciful God who cannot break His word. Your circumstances may be temporary, but His covenant with you is eternal. What He has promised, He will perform. What He has begun, He will complete. What He has planned for you cannot be stopped by any storm. Maybe you're feeling completely overwhelmed by the size of the challenges ahead of you. The mountains you need to climb look impossibly high, the obstacles insurmountable, the opposition too strong. You feel small and weak and utterly inadequate for what lies ahead. God has something powerful to say about your inadequacy. Deuteronomy 3 verse 22. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God Himself will fight for you. The Lord your God Himself will fight for you. Not your strength, not your wisdom, not your connections or resources, but the Lord Himself will fight for you. The battles that look impossible to you are not impossible to Him. The enemies that seem too strong for you are not too strong for Him. You don't have to be strong enough to win. You just have to be surrendered enough to let Him fight for you. You don't have to have all the skills and abilities. You just have to have faith in the one who has all power and authority. Your inadequacy is not a problem for God. It's an opportunity for Him to show His strength through your weakness. Every giant you face is smaller than your God. Every mountain that blocks your path can be moved by your faith. Every door that seems locked can be opened by His hand. You are not fighting these battles alone. The Lord your God Himself, the Creator of heaven and earth, the one who spoke galaxies into existence, the one who parts seas and stops the sun, He fights for you. Tonight you might be wrestling with guilt over past, mistakes that seem too big to forgive. The weight of regret feels crushing, and you wonder if you've done something that puts you beyond the reach of God's grace. The voice of condemnation whispers that you've crossed a line you can't uncross. But listen to this incredible promise of redemption. Deuteronomy 30 verse 3. Then the Lord your God will restore your fortunes and have compassion on you and gather you again from all the nations where He scattered you. He will restore your fortunes, the life that feels ruined, the dreams that seem dead, the relationships that appear broken beyond repair. God specializes in restoration. He doesn't just patch things up, He makes them better than they were before. His restoration exceeds your expectations and surpasses your imagination. He will have compassion on you, not judgment, not condemnation, not punishment, compassion. He sees your broken heart, your genuine regret, your desire to do better. He responds to your repentance with tenderness, mercy, and loving kindness that takes your breath away. Your past doesn't disqualify you from your future. Your failures don't eliminate you from His plans. Your mistakes don't put you beyond the reach of His transforming grace. The same God who restored the Israelites from exile can restore every broken area of your life. Perhaps you're wondering if you have the strength to keep going. The battles have been long, the victories few, and your spiritual energy feels depleted. You wonder if it's even worth fighting anymore, if change is really possible, if God is still working in your situation. Moses spoke to this kind of spiritual exhaustion. Deuteronomy 31 verses 7 and 8. Be strong and courageous, for you must go with this people into the land that the Lord swore to their ancestors to give them, and you must divide it among them as their inheritance. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Be strong and courageous, not because you feel strong, but because he is strong. Not because you feel courageous, but because he goes before you. Your strength doesn't come from within you. It comes from the one who walks with you every step of the way. The Lord himself goes before you. Before you face tomorrow's challenges, he's already there preparing the way. Before you enter that difficult conversation, he's already in the room. Before you receive that test result, before you make that decision, before you take that step, he's already there. You don't have to be afraid of what's coming because he's already in your future, working all things together for your good. You don't have to be discouraged by how long it's taking because his timing is perfect and his ways are higher than your ways. The finish line you can't see is clearly marked in his plan. Maybe tonight you're longing for true peace, not just the absence of conflict, but the deep, soul-settling peace that comes from knowing everything is going to be okay. Your heart craves rest, your mind yearns for stillness, your spirit aches for the security that comes from absolute trust. God offers this peace through a beautiful promise. Deuteronomy 12, verse 10. But you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you will live in safety. He will give you rest from all your enemies, the fears that attack your mind, the worries that steal your sleep, the anxieties that grip your heart. He will give you rest from them all. The spiritual battles that exhaust you, the emotional struggles that drain you, the mental torment that never seems to end. He has planned a season of rest for you. You will live in safety, not just physical safety, but emotional safety, spiritual safety, the safety that comes from knowing you are completely loved and absolutely protected by the Most High God. The insecurity that haunts you, the fear that follows you, the sense of vulnerability that keeps you on guard, all of this will give way to the unshakable safety of his love. This rest isn't just for someday in heaven. It begins now, tonight, as you choose to trust in his promises. This safety isn't just future hope, it's present reality for those who anchor their souls in his faithfulness. You can rest because he is your defender. You can live in safety because he is your protector. Tonight, believing might feel impossible. When your heart is heavy and your circumstances look grim, faith can feel like a luxury you can't afford. You want to trust God, but the questions are so loud and the doubts so persistent. You feel guilty for struggling to believe, ashamed of your wavering faith. But Moses understood the difficulty of faith in hard times. Deuteronomy 9, verse 23. And when the Lord sent you out from Kadesh Barnea, he said, "Go up and take possession of the land I have given you." But you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You did not trust him or obey him. Even God's chosen people struggled to trust him. They had seen miracles, witnessed his power, experienced his provision. And yet, when it came time to believe him for something new, something bigger, something that required risk, they struggled. Their faith wavered, their courage failed, their trust cracked under pressure. This isn't judgment on your struggle to believe. It's validation that doubt is part of the human experience. You're not the first person to wrestle with faith in the darkness. You're not alone in your questions, your fears, your uncertainty. Even the heroes of faith had moments when believing felt too hard. Your struggle with faith doesn't disappoint God. It makes you honest. Your questions don't push him away. They draw his compassion. Your doubts don't disqualify you. They make you real. He can work with honest doubt better than he can work with pretend faith. Perhaps you're wondering if your faith is strong enough to sustain you through what's coming. You look at the challenges ahead and wonder if you have what it takes to keep believing when things get harder. Your faith feels small, weak, insufficient for the journey ahead. Moses spoke to this fear about inadequate faith. Deuteronomy 8 verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Remember how the Lord your God led you. Your faith doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. It doesn't have to be strong. It just has to be sincere. God isn't looking for flawless faith. He's looking for faithful hearts that keep turning to him even when believing is difficult. The wilderness wasn't designed to destroy their faith. It was designed to refine it. Every test, every trial, every moment of uncertainty was an opportunity to discover that God could be trusted even when everything else was uncertain. Your current struggles aren't evidence that your faith is failing. They're opportunities to discover that God is faithful even when your faith feels fragile. The goal isn't to arrive at a place where you never doubt, never question, never struggle to believe. The goal is to keep turning to God in the midst of your doubts, to keep crying out to him through your questions, to keep taking steps of faith even when the path is unclear. Maybe tonight you're feeling spiritually dry, like your connection to God has been severed. Prayer feels empty, reading scripture feels mechanical, and his presence feels distant. You wonder if you've done something to drive him away, if you've lost your ability to hear his voice. Moses addressed this spiritual dryness with words of hope. Deuteronomy 4 verse 29. But if from there you seek the Lord your God, you will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. You will find him if you seek him, not you might find him, or maybe you'll sense his presence. You will find him. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a promise from the God who cannot lie. Your current sense of distance from him doesn't mean he's moved. It means your heart is being prepared for a deeper encounter with his love. If you seek him with all your heart and soul, not perfect seeking, not flawless seeking, but wholehearted seeking. When you turn to him with everything you have, your questions, your doubts, your fears, your hopes, he responds. When you bring him your honest heart instead of your religious performance, he draws near. Your spiritual dryness isn't evidence of God's absence. It's evidence of your deep hunger for his presence. Your longing for connection with him is actually his spirit within you, drawing you deeper into relationship with him. The very fact that you miss him means he has touched your life in ways that have spoiled you for anything less than authentic intimacy with him. Perhaps you're wrestling with whether God's promises are really true for you specifically. You can believe they're true for other people, but when it comes to your own life, doubt creeps in. You wonder if you're the exception, if your situation is too complicated, if your past is too messy for God's promises to apply to you. Moses dealt with this very issue, Deuteronomy 7 verse 8. But it was because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your ancestors that he brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery, from the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. It was because the Lord loved you, not them, not the person sitting next to you, not someone more deserving, you. His love isn't general or abstract. It's personal and specific. His promises aren't blanket statements that might apply to you. They are direct declarations spoken over your life. He kept the oath he swore. God doesn't make promises he doesn't intend to keep. He doesn't speak words of love and hope over your life and then forget about them. What he has promised you, he will perform. What he has spoken over you will come to pass. His oath is his bond, and his word is his commitment. Your past doesn't disqualify you from his promises. Your mistakes don't eliminate you from his love. Your circumstances don't cancel out his plans for your life. The same God who redeemed Israel from slavery can redeem any situation in your life. No bondage is too strong for his mighty hand. Tonight you might be struggling with the gap between what God has promised and what you're currently experiencing. The delay is painful, the waiting is exhausting, and you wonder if you misheard him, if you're being foolish to keep believing. Moses understood the challenge of waiting for God's promises. Deuteronomy 1, verse 30. The Lord your God, who is going before you, will fight for you, as he did for you in Egypt, before your very eyes, as he did for you in Egypt. God's past faithfulness is the guarantee of his future faithfulness. Look back at your life. See how he brought you through situations that seemed impossible. Remember how he provided when you thought there was no way. Recall how he protected you when you felt vulnerable and afraid. He didn't bring you this far to abandon you now. He didn't invest this much in your life to walk away before the story reaches its beautiful conclusion. The same God who fought for you then is fighting for you now. The same power that delivered you before is working on your behalf today. The promise may be delayed, but it's not denied. The fulfillment may be taking longer than you hoped, but it's not been cancelled. God's timing is perfect even when it doesn't match your timeline. His delays are often his mercy, preparing you for something bigger and better than what you originally asked for. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by the cost of following God. The sacrifices seem too great, the requirements too demanding, the path too difficult. You wonder if faith is worth all this struggle, if surrender is worth all this uncertainty. Moses spoke honestly about the cost and the reward. Deuteronomy 10, verse 12 and 13. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to observe the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today for your own good? For your own good, every command God gives, every standard he sets, every sacrifice he asks for, it's all for your own good. He's not a demanding taskmaster trying to make your life difficult. He's a loving father, protecting you from harm and guiding you toward the life that will bring you the deepest joy and satisfaction. Walking in obedience to him isn't about rigid rule following. It's about trusting that the one who created you knows what's best for you. Loving him with all your heart isn't burdensome duty. It's responding to the love that first loved you. Serving him isn't slavery. It's freedom to be who you were created to be. The cost of following God pales in comparison to the cost of living without him. The sacrifices he asks for are nothing compared to the sacrifices he's made for you. The path may be difficult, but it leads to life, joy, peace, and purpose that makes every struggle worthwhile. As we come to these final moments together, let your breathing become even slower and deeper. Feel the weight of your body sinking into complete rest. Your mind has been racing all day, thoughts tumbling over each other like waves in a storm. But here, now, in this sacred space, you can let it all go. Moses spoke words of deep comfort to weary souls. Deuteronomy 3, verse 20. At that time I commanded Joshua, with your own eyes all that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. The Lord will do the same to all the kingdoms over there where you are going. The Lord will do the same, whatever battles await you tomorrow, whatever challenges you'll face in the days ahead. The same God who has been faithful before will be faithful again. You have seen with your own eyes how he has carried you through, how he has provided when you had nothing, how he has comforted you in your deepest pain. Let your shoulders drop. Release the tension you've been carrying. Breathe out the worry. Breathe in his peace. You don't have to solve everything tonight. You don't have to figure out tomorrow before you can rest today. Perhaps your mind keeps returning to that situation that feels impossible, that relationship that seems broken beyond repair, that dream that appears dead. Listen to what Moses declared with absolute confidence. Deuteronomy 31 verse 3. The Lord your God himself will cross over ahead of you. He will destroy these nations before you, and you will take possession of their land. The Lord your God himself will cross over ahead of you. He goes before you into tomorrow, into next week, into next month. Every step you take, he has already walked before you. Every challenge you face, he has already prepared the victory. Feel your breathing slow even more. Let each exhale carry away one more worry, one more fear, one more burden you've been trying to carry alone. You can rest because he is working. You can sleep because he is watching. You can let go because he is holding on. Your body is growing heavy now, wonderfully, peacefully heavy. This is how rest is supposed to feel. Not just quiet around you, but quiet within you. Moses shared these words about true rest. Deuteronomy 12 verse 9 and 10. You have not yet reached the resting place and the 5 inheritance the Lord your God is giving you. But you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you will live in safety. He will give you rest from all your enemies, the voices that tell you you're not enough, the fears that whisper about tomorrow, the regrets that haunt you about yesterday. He will give you rest from them all. Let your eyelids grow heavy. There's nothing you need to do right now except breathe and rest and know that you are completely loved. The God who spoke the universe into existence speaks tenderness over your weary soul tonight. Your breathing is so slow now, so peaceful, like gentle waves on a quiet shore. In and out, in and out. Each breath a prayer, each exhale a release of everything you cannot control. Listen to this beautiful promise. Deuteronomy 33 verse 27. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Underneath are the everlasting arms. Feel them now, supporting you, holding you. You cannot fall because you are held by arms that never grow weary, never let go, never fail. The eternal God is your refuge. When the storms of life rage around you, you have a safe place, a hiding place, a sanctuary where no fear can reach you, no worry can touch you, no anxiety can disturb your peace. Your mind is growing quiet now, wonderfully, reflecting only the beauty of his presence. The choppy waters of worry are settling, becoming smooth as glass, perfectly calm. Moses spoke these final words of blessing. Deuteronomy 33 verse 29. Blessed are you, Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord. He is your shield and helper, and your glorious sword. Blessed are you. You are not cursed. You are blessed. You are not forgotten. You are remembered. You are not alone. You are accompanied by the Most High God. He is your shield, protecting you from harm you cannot see, deflecting arrows of discouragement, guarding your heart from despair. Nothing can touch you that has not first passed through his loving hands. He is your helper. When you cannot carry the load, when you don't know what to do, when you feel weak and overwhelmed, he steps in as your helper, your strength, your wisdom, your peace. Feel your body melting into complete rest now, every muscle relaxing, every tension releasing. You are safe, you are loved, you are held by everlasting arms. The night is quiet around you, but even in the silence, you are not alone. The same God who spoke to Moses in the wilderness speaks to your heart tonight. I am with you. I will never leave you. You can rest now. You can let go. You can trust me with your tomorrow. Your breathing is barely a whisper. Now, so gentle, so peaceful, like the breath of heaven itself. In this sacred space between waking and sleeping, you are held, you are loved, you are completely safe. Listen one more time to Moses' final words. Deuteronomy 34 verse 7. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone. Even at the end, his eyes were not weak. He could still see clearly the faithfulness of God. He could still see the promises that would unfold long after he was gone. Your story too will end well. Your faith will be vindicated. Your trust will be rewarded. But tonight, you don't need to see the end. You just need to rest in the one who holds the end, and the beginning, and everything in between. The God who led Moses for 40 years in the wilderness leads you tonight into peaceful rest. The God who never left Israel alone never leaves you alone. The God who fulfilled every promise he made to his people will fulfill every promise he has made to you. Rest now. You are held. You are loved. You are safe. You can sleep, knowing that he who watches over you never sleeps, never slumbers, never takes his eyes off you. Tomorrow will bring new mercies, fresh grace, renewed strength, but tonight, rest, deeply, peacefully, completely, in the arms of the one who loves you beyond measure. Sleep well, beloved child of God. Sleep well. Rest.